Music is a mysterious thing. Sometimes it makes people remember things they don't expect. Many thoughts, feelings, and memories, or things almost forgotten, regardless of whether the listener desires to remember them or not. So I'm a big fan of all types of music, but it's usually the lyrics that draw me into a particular song or band. So there's a band out there called Sabaton. Believe it or not, they're not even from America. They're a Swedish power metal band. Now I can see some of your reactions already when I say power metal. It's not as bad as you think though, trust me. One of the most unique aspects about this band is the fact that they base most of their songs on war and historical battles. And these guys don't half-ass it either. They clearly do their research about whatever it is they're singing about. For example, one of their most famous songs is called Primo Victoria. The song is about the American troops on D-Day that landed on the beaches of Normandy. One of the lines, for instance, says, "Through the gates of hell, as we make our way to heaven through the Nazi lines." It then goes on to say, "Aiming for heaven, though serving in hell, victory is ours, their forces will fall." The song then goes on to describe the horrific nature of that battle on June 6, 1944. I've heard of teachers and even professors using some of these songs in their history classes. That's how accurate they can be. So anyway, I tell you about this particular band because, as I mentioned, they focus on wars and historical battles. They've wrote quite a few songs about World War II, in fact. If you Google Sabaton, Call of Duty, you'll see that many fans make music videos with Call of Duty footage. I've seen in a few interviews that the lead singer is a huge Call of Duty fan as well. I'm sure everyone knows this by now, but the next Call of Duty game is going to be World War II based. So how amazing would it be to feature this Swedish power metal band in the actual game? We know Sledgehammer Games isn't afraid to spend some money to get the best for their games, as evidenced by them pulling in Kevin Spacey for Advanced Warfare. Now while some of you may not be aware of who Sabaton is, I can assure you that they're world renowned and very popular. So if you couldn't tell by now, I'm a huge fan of this band. So naturally, I follow them on Twitter. And as it just so happens, a few days ago they put out this mysterious tweet, which says the following: "People often ask us what we do when we're not on tour. Well, we go to war. Hashtag surprise, hashtag something big is coming, hashtag good times." The picture with this tweet was the band dressed in World War II-ish camouflage on what appears to be a beach. There's also a fire in front of what appears to be a wooden Czech hedgehog. These, by the way, are normally made of metal. They were the anti-tank and anti-landing craft obstacles that were used during World War II, and they were definitely used on D-Day against the Allies' attack. So maybe it's just me looking too much into this, but what could they have meant by, quote, going to war? To me, this implies that maybe, just maybe, they could be featured in Call of Duty World War II. I tried to Google this, or any variation of it, but I couldn't find anything. It's just too much of a coincidence to not be something amazing. A power metal band that sings about historical battles that just so happens to be, quote, going to war, and we have a World War II Call of Duty game quickly approaching? Again though, it could just be me wishing for something that's not really there. But let me know in the comments if you think I'm onto something here. I think I'm the first one to draw this connection, but I think there's definitely something brewing. And by the way, if you've never heard of this band before, some songs I highly suggest would be Primo Victoria, Resist and Bite, Night Witches, and Shiroyama. I'll link all these songs in the description. Despite the band themselves being from Sweden, they sing in perfect English. It's not often songs can give me goosebumps, but listening to this band sing about World War II causes shivers down my spine. It's that good.